Hello ladies, I'm so excited you're here to check out my series where I am going to go over in detail what I feel like are the basics for women's hormones. So I've been talking a lot about this all over the place, and I see it too with a lot of coaches. I think that it somewhat has gotten confusing. So let me reintroduce myself. Coach Andrea T. Andrea Tornes. I am in the Minneapolis area. Basically, I've been working with women to shape up their bodies and feel good for over 25 years. I owned my own small storefront personal training studio for a number of years. I also was in a wellness clinic before that, started things in my basement. I'm all things Pilates, strength training, nutrition based, even HRT, and so on and so forth. So I am passionate about what I do. I've seen a lot of trends over the years, obviously. Want to educate you guys on what works, what doesn't work, and how to start things. So one thing that's kind of a pet peeve that I've been hearing a lot about that I think is not serving women is that you'll hear different coaches talking about their program and about how, if you follow just the basics, it has nothing to do with your hormones. Your hormones aren't blocking you. That's not the issue. You hear of other people who just coaches that are talking about how hormones have such a play in this whole thing. They're basically saying the same thing, because right now as I stand and I talk to you, there's a lot hormonally happening in my body. Hormones control our bodies. There are specific ways that we can work with our hormones. You can't get around that. When someone's talking about hormones, to me, they're talking about more of the science-backed of what happens when you change certain things in your body to react. And hormonally, different things happen which give different outcomes. And there's things like our perimenopause, and there's birth control, there's different kinds of menopause, postmenopause. There's different times in life that different things are happening to our body. So if you don't know my story, I basically was great at helping women with their bodies. I even did an IFPA pro bodybuilding show. I got my body into great shape, and all of those elementary things really worked well for me until they stopped when I turned 42. I was around 42-ish. I had really high amounts of stress. I had some mental health issues with one of my children that was pretty significant. I also had a thriving business, which also presented a lot of stress, which was estrogen dominant. So it was women for the most part, which I loved. I also managed a staff. I was traveling a lot. So my stress levels were way up here. My studio had gotten shut down with COVID. And then my dad got cancer that year and passed away. So many things happened. Suddenly I actually lost my menses, my period. I started gaining belly fat like crazy. So what did I do? I was like, I'm gonna get my food down to 1,100 calories. I'm gonna go to 50 grams of carbs. I'm gonna pull out all the stops. And then when that wasn't working, I then was like, I'm gonna get on the Peloton bike and I'm gonna do 45-minute spin workouts. And that didn't work. So I was very scared. I was like, how am I going to run this business, have this belly fat, tell women just eat less, move more? Doesn't work when that happened. Those were a little bit more deeper issues. We're not going to go into that now. I want to talk to you about those building blocks, the basics that I did to really fix my hormones as a whole, and what you should be doing too if you are over the age of 35. So that's what this series is going to be about. You're going to learn about everything that's really going to help and move your hormones forward, that are the basics that you can be checking off, that you can be seeing big changes in a very small amount of time. So watch this 10-part video series. I'm going to try to keep it somewhat short, easy, simple things that you can do in everyday life, no matter if you're a busy career woman or if you have 10 kids, or maybe you have both, or maybe you own a business. That's probably who needs to be tuning into this the most. Or if you don't consider yourself disciplined, or if you're somebody who's tried everything and it's not working, we're going to basically bring you back. Or if you're just kind of diving in and wondering, could it be my hormones? We're going to talk about that too. So I'm excited for this. All you have to do is follow along to the next video, and so on and so forth. And I've got some great PDFs and some things to follow along with. My hope is to take some of the stigma out, to kind of get you out of the black and white, or, the polarizing topics you're seeing. that probably aren't helping you at this point, to make sure that you have the basics checked out and checked on so that you can move your body to anywhere you want it to. Just one last note, as a mom of 5, thriving boys, being married for over 30 years, coming into this last wonderful leg of life, to me, traveling is super important, as I'm sure it is to you. Having energy for my grandkids, looking good in my swimsuit, all of those things. I think it is one of the most pivotal, important times for women, because we actually have a little more time sometimes for ourselves, or we are able to move the dial. It's not like throw in the towel, I'm old, which I think is a story we've heard too often. But honestly, this is your time to shine, thrive, and you just don't know the ripple effect that you can put out into the world, especially with all this wisdom and years of experience. So to me, 35 up is a monumental time to have power and to put that power back into the world. So let's go on to video 1.